elections in Telangana and Rajasthan are concluding today, and with this we conclude the 5 assembly elections right before the 5 crucial assembly elections right before the Lok Sabha polls in 2019. And the question we are asking today is that how should the Election Commission be held more accountable for technical snags? Well, there have been several instances even during these elections that have alluded to some kind of foul play. At least the opposition parties very vociferously have argued that the sanctity of elections and the transparency of elections has been compromised. Today in Chhattisgarh, we've seen that in a strong room, 3 men who claimed to be employees of Geo Reliance were detained. They were seen in the around the strong room, which are basically areas where places where the EVMs are kept till the day of counting, and obviously the presence of any person who identifies themselves as employees of Geo Reliance, it raises some kind of suspicion. In Telangana, we saw that polling was delayed by at least 2 to 3 hours because of faulty EVMs. In Madhya Pradesh, we saw that there were a series of complaints. In Bhopal, we saw there was a blackout in the strong room for many hours. This is something that the Election Commission itself admitted to. Then in Korea, we saw that EVMs was stored in an unmarked vehicle. The EVMs that were supposed to be reach the collector's office within 2 hours actually reached the collector's office after 2 days, and for these 2 days they were kept in an unmarked vehicle in a bus. So although the Election Commission did say that the officer concerned, the official concerned, was suspended after this, but all of these instances really go on to raise suspicion, and the opposition, remember, has been arguing that for a very long time that the Election Commission has been compromised. It is working under pressure from the ruling BJP. So all these instances really add fuel to those kind of arguments. Has the Election Commission done enough to kind of assuage these concerns? Well, let's just say that Election Commission has been responding very, very arbitrarily to some of these concerns. We haven't really seen the Election Commission come out and really give a larger solution. The Election Commission, in fact, just a few days ago, the former Chief Election Commissioner O.P. Rawat said that there are some concerns and regarding the sanctity of the Election Commission that have been raised, and he admitted that some of these concerns are due to loose behavior of poll officials and government staff not taking EC instructions seriously. Now, the Chief Election Commissioner cannot just get away by saying that more has to be done to rein in the Election Commission staff if that is felt. We have some questions. What are the other allegations against the Election Commission, asks Kishan Rawat. Well, as I said, that the opposition has been saying that the commission has consistently over the last few years been working under pressure from the BJP. Very recently we saw that in Rajasthan, the Election Commission was about to announce the polling dates, and they delayed announcing it, because had they announced the polling dates at that time, the model code of conduct would have kicked in at that very moment. And during that time, during those few hours, Prime Minister Narendra Modi actually held a rally in Ajmer. So again, then we had the Congress arguing that the delay in announcing the polling dates was done only as to ensure that the Prime Minister could hold a rally and announce some big promises if there was a need. Do all these technical snags necessarily allude to an electoral fraud? Well, we cannot say that conclusively, because remember, EVMs were introduced in the country in late 1990s to replace polling booths because booth capturing was rampant at that time, and EVMs were really seen as the panacea to kind of handle and grapple with those kind of problems. Now, to say that we want to, because EVMs are somehow being manipulated and we want to go back to that era, that is a little far-fetched, and I guess the Election Commission is correct in saying that going back by decades may not be the solution. But yes, as we said, the Election Commission needs to come out clean, come out more sort of be more assertive about in the way it responds to some of the complaints. We have a question from, just give me a second. We have a comment really from Tanveer. Yes, 100% election commission responsible for the same thing in MP Satna area. Election commission sent old machine in this region, many of them being faulted. EVMs have responsibility on every vote. If one person return from line without casting vote, they cannot come again for vote. Absolutely, even if there is one complaint, it needs to be taken seriously, and any voter that goes back thinking that their vote has been compromised with in any way actually compromises the image of the election commission. We have a question: is Congress leader Rahul Gandhi right in asking his mysterious voters to beware of the mysterious behavior of the EVMs under Modi Raj? Well, to be sure, as we've discussed, there have been technical snags. There has been more than technical snags. Now, for example, EVMs being found in hotel rooms. This is not a technical snag. This is a huge error on the part of the election commission. So there have been there have been shortcomings in the way the election commission has been dealing with these issues. But the opposition, being the opposition, is also kind of trying to score some sort of scores on this issue. Now, for example, we have seen that various opposition leaders have said that EVMs are compromised, but when they win elections, they do not make certain arguments. In fact, recently in one by-poll, we had a Congress leader say that well, EVMs are being compromised with, and that's why we're not going to win. But when Congress actually won that by-poll, that leader went on to say that we would have won with a bigger margin had the EVMs not been compromised. So, of course, the opposition is also trying to milk this controversy as much as it can, but to conclude that there is no controversy or there is no reason for concern is also not entirely correct. And there have been other issues. Remember, there has been AAP, for example, has been raising the issue of deletions of voter IDs in Delhi, and there have been similar concerns in other parts of the country as well. So EVMs are just a part of the problem. There are other concerns as well. Is there some double speak on part of the opposition? Asks Sumit. Well, yes, of course, as I just mentioned, there has been some double speak when political parties win elections. They do not argue that EVMs are being compromised with, and when that does not, when they lose elections, the entire blame comes on EVMs. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.